high sweetness. We got Jesse Brusman's truck on the dyno. It's an 07 G56 truck. It's a 6.7, has 250% extra G injectors, ATS dual fuelers, and a 475. He wants to see what kind of max power we can get out of it and make sure that it drives nice on the street, and we'll go from there. Okay, on one of our last video, you saw this truck where we were dealing with some popping and cutting out issues. We got that fixed by tightening up the battery cables, and then we were dealing with some rail pressure fluctuations. It was overshooting, undershooting rail, and we fixed that in current conversion. We put it on the dyno, see what kind of power it can make, and our cutting out issues started coming back occasionally, where randomly rail pressure would just drop to 0, the truck would cut out, and then everything would come back and run like normal. So we took the rail pressure gauge out of the equation. You can see this is the factory rail pressure sensor harness, and they had tapped into the harness with, they had soldered it. They did a decent job, but we took the rail pressure gauge out of the equation, and it really fixed the problem for the most part, but we were still getting an occasional cutout. And then we started looking, and we actually saw that this wire here was nicked and it was almost broken. So we've got a harness that we're going to repair the rail pressure sensor harness with, and hopefully fix this cutting out issue once and for all, and we can see what kind of power this truck makes. Made a couple dyno pulls. We're at 835 horsepower, about 1550 torque. On a stock bottom end, you're kind of above 1600 foot-pounds, you kind of push your limits. I think the truck should be capable of more. I'm not 100% sure on the injector size. I was told 250%. It dynos out closer to like 100%. We've turned the fuel up, and it just seemed to, it didn't seem to really pick up more power as we went up on power. But with stock rods in it, we thought it was best to leave it the way it is. It's running good, it's running clean, really fixed the issues, and now he knows what kind of power he makes. If he wants to make more power, he needs to pull the motor, put some billet rods in the bottom end, and then we can turn it up and rock and roll.
Alright, today we got a twin turbo 01 here from a customer from Idaho. He brought it to us to install an Anteater Pro, and we are going to modify his second gen shifter to allow for the tap shift ability for the Pro, which allows. And I just thought it was a bit fascinating to see a customer drive all the way out here for us to install that. In the meanwhile, we fixed a second gear or third gear start issue, and well, should turn out pretty nice.
Hey guys, we're here with Steve Jones. You're out of Massachusetts. He came down here for us to dyno tune his truck. This is a fresh build. put this motor in, what, 1,000 miles ago or something like that?
Yes.
It's got 380,000 miles on the truck.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what's on the truck and kind of what you're looking forward to today.
Okay. I'm looking to get this truck with a proper tune because nobody in Massachusetts that I can find can do this job or wants to respond to my calls. So I've had this truck since brand new. It's been a labor of love owning this truck, and it's been a hard road. I've got ATS stage 5 transmission in it. I've got air locking differentials from ARB, onboard air compressor system, custom drive shaft, one piece, and I'm on the third motor, which 2 of them came right out of DFC Corporation out of Alberta, Canada. And reason being, they had a great warranty, but I've had a couple of major issues with the very first engine we put in it, and we've replaced it since. The truck was gone quite a while, and then the replacement engine had an issue where the cam was installed one tooth off in the retarded position, so the engine had the whole front of the motor came back out and had to reset the cam gear on it. But now I've also put a set of Crazy Carl's turbos in here, compound set.
Yeah, that's what, a 62, 68, 14?
Yep.
Over a 75, 96, 115 twin
Correct.
setup.
Yep.
And you have extra G 45% overs
On the injectors.
And fleece PowerFlow 750 CP3.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's quite a nice little setup, but I have yet to find a proper tune for it. And I know I'm bringing it down to the right shop here because Levon's going to help me out and get this thing all straightened out for me. The truck has about 380,000 miles on it right now, and it's a labor of love, you know. That's,
yeah.
that's what I got
well,
to
that's
say.
what I said. It's everybody has their own story. Like
Yeah.
you've had this truck since '04, and or 2019, if you really think about it. You know what?
Yeah.
You're 15 years in.
15 years into this
And
truck.
you put so much into these trucks, and you know you said you've got other bumpers that you run during the summer, some other wheels and tires. You know, this is kind of the winter setup. So you've got a whole bunch of different options for you. But we look forward to tuning it. We're going to be tuning this today with UDC Pro. I'll be using the Smarty Touch platform and giving him some custom tunes through that. Like right now, you've been running what, the Smarty SO6?
Correct.
And that really, the Smarty SO6 is a great box tuner, but when you have upgraded injectors, those tune files aren't made for upgraded injectors per se. So if you turn the Smarty SO6 all the way up, the injector pulse width or duration of the injector on time is too long. So that's what we can do in custom tuning. We can fine tune the timing. We can get the injector pulse width right for the injector size and get you dialed in, and you have a good running truck by the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really
Good.
am.
Well, I look forward to it. Okay, well, we got this thing all wrapped up. We ended the day at 746 horsepower on the hot tune, and then we did 552 horsepower on the tow tune. It gives you about a 200 horsepower window. 680 horsepower on the street tune. That's a pretty common setup for, I mean, it's really a well-rounded setup for a 750 horsepower street tow truck, because you've got a smaller turbo setup, should tow good. You got the 115 housing on the big turbo,
Yep.
and the 62, 68, 14 on the manifold, which you could really probably push that setup a little bit harder if you went to 132 housing, a little bigger exhaust housing on the big turbo, but then you would have to buy bigger injectors and a bigger pump to make more power. So for 750 horsepower, a well-rounded setup, a 10 mil fleece PowerFlow 750, 45% overs, a small twin setup, it drives great, it spools instant, it should treat you very good.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome
well, I appreciate
job.
you coming down from Massachusetts,
Yep.
and anytime you need something, be glad to help.
Absolutely, Levon. It's a pleasure meeting you, pleasure doing business with you, and I would definitely recommend you to any of my fellow friends that have these particular trucks.
Good deal.
And yeah, great, you helped me out.
Good.
There's nobody I know up in Mass was able to help me out, so
Right.
you're the
Yep.
guy.
Well, that's good. I know a lot of people who drive a lot of ways, just like today. We've got trucks here from Idaho, Massachusetts, Florida, Texas, and I believe there was one other state represented, Illinois, all in the shop today. So it's kind of crazy. You got a small little shop here in Ohio, and you got people coming from all over the U.S. To play with Dodge trucks. So if it's Dodge Cummins or 48 RE, we'll play with it.